and I'm so grateful to be in this space with you to serve as a divine channel for the Most High. And we've got a reading for you. Pick a card. I know y'all probably been missing pick a card readings. So I set aside some time to give you guys one today. Spirit put it on my heart yesterday because there has been a lot of talk of all of the things that have been kind of being revealed and coming up for us to see and face, okay? Whether these were internal truths or, outward energies that were kind of pressing up against us. So it was time for a reading that highlighted your strengths, okay? So that's what we're going to get in today. Let me say a quick prayer. Most High, Holy Spirit, angels, guides, galactic allies, thank you so much for allowing me to be in this place where I may, without ego, serve and deliver these messages of higher wisdom, of motivation, of encouragement and support, and serve in a position where I may assist others in awakening to their own personal truths, the strengths that have been hidden deep within inside of them, and to bring back to memory the strengths that they know that they have, okay, that are not being put into use. So I thank you so much for this time and space. Ashe. So this is what we're gonna do today. I got 3 pens here. We're gonna do this pick a card real easy like. We're gonna do pile 1 is gonna be the purple pen, pile 2 is gonna be the yellow pen, and pile 3 is gonna be the blue pen, okay? And I have the cards sorted out here, and I have some other cards that we'll pick live. So let's get into it. So for pile 1, here we go. So what I did here was I picked you guys 6 tarot cards. They're going to highlight your strengths, and if anything shows up as a perceived weakness, then we will address that. However, we're focusing on the strengths because that's what we need right now, right? I also got us some advice cards from the ancestors from the Urban Intellectuals deck, and I picked up some runes to further push the strengths, okay? So let's get into it. We got our 6 tarot cards. Let's see what we got. We got Page of Wands in reverse for group 1. We have Ace of Pentacles. Okay, they told me to turn the Page of Wands, so that's what I'm gonna do. The Fool card, 5 of Pentacles in reverse, Queen of Wands in reverse, and the the 9 of Wands upright. All right. Man, I said it in the prayer. In the prayer, before we started this, it said strengths that you already know you have, things that you already know you're capable of, but may not be putting them to use, may not be using your resources the best way, okay? So already with the Page of Wands and the Ace of Pentacles, you have a creative gift from God, okay? You have the ability to take something and form it, okay? Form it, bring it into form, I heard. You have the ability, you have the strength. One of your strengths is that you're not afraid to take risks, okay? Or have faith in the unseen, okay? I do believe I'm being drawn in these 2 cards here, how this little blue mountain or water or whatever it might be is actually continuing on into the Fool card. So it's almost like, this was an invitation and you took it. Like, you always take the invitation. When God calls, you always move, okay? Yeah. I have a lyric. It says, what does it say? Oh, it's a really funny song. Okay, so I think I need to say the whole thing because it kind of speaks to this. Because the Queen of Wands in reverse, I do feel like there are certain entities or certain people in your life who do try to speak against your name, or who try to compete with you in a certain way. They want to tear you down to make them look better, type of vibe. So the lyric goes, I've got nothing to prove. My presence alone is triggering you. You've been something trying to stay in the news. Your life will be better if you focus on you. I just use a goofy as a muse. Yah speaks and I move. Don't at me now that my life is on cruise, and don't speak on my name until you walked in my shoes. All right, so these cards, again, if I could show you, I'm gonna show y'all these cards again so y'all can see what I'm talking about. Don't at me now that my life is on cruise. right? Don't at me now that my life don't cruise, and don't speak on my name until you walked in my shoes, okay? Don't speak on my name unless you walked in my shoes. All right, so that's a beautiful message. I feel like that's definitely speaking the vibe of what I was picking up on, of you have the ability to really turn opposition, drama, chaos, you transmute it into personal strength, into personal encouragement. You might even do it like I just did. You might even turn it into art, okay? You may even have the ability to turn negative energy around you into art, all right? Your not even negative energy, but general struggle, your own doubts, your own fears, and then even stuff that comes from the outside. You have the ability to transmute it and turn it into gold. Okay, I'm also hearing the words Midas touch, so it's almost like if you choose to engage in it, then it's automatically alchemized. It's like it has no choice but to change because you decided to take it on. Okay, I love this energy. So let me see what else we have here. With the Page of Wands and the Nine of Wands together, it does feel like it just, you take each struggle as a lesson, okay? Pages are students, and this is a student of the struggle, okay? This is a student of the struggle. All right, you see it, you pay attention, you see how he's analyzing that one wand. He's got 9 down here, but he literally takes them one by one, and he says, okay, what's the use of this? What's growing from this? What am I learning from this? What are my actions telling me? What is my inaction telling me? Okay, so there's a whole lot. What is, in this talks about passion too, your feelings. How do I feel in this moment? So this says to me that one of your strengths is that you take the time to analyze, to really stand in whatever situations you're in, so that you can get what you're supposed to get out of them, or what you feel like you're supposed to gain out of them. Okay. With the Ace of Pentacles and the Queen of Wands, I feel like there's a general acceptance of who you are. You may tend to kind of downplay to some extent when it comes to how you are supposed to express this out, or how you're supposed to form it, okay? But whatever the case, you tend to do it anyway, okay? There's a process with it where it does take time, and that's what I'm saying. You do sit with it and take that time to analyze, and that's what we're seeing here, that you see it as a gift from God. You see every opportunity as a gift from God, and you don't allow outward entities to control your process, okay? That's a beautiful gift. With the Fool card and the Five of Pentacles in reverse, again, don't at me now that my life is on cruise. You know what I'm saying? Don't at me now that my life is on cruise, okay? This is one of those cards where it's, even when fear, doubt, even past experiences try to I don't know, block your mindset, or change your mindset about a new opportunity, you quickly discard it, and then you acknowledge it. Like it's like you call out your own ego, you call out negative entities, you call out those spirits that are trying to work against you. Like, say for instance, you're planning a trip, and then a bill comes up, and you didn't expect to have to pay that bill. You're the type of person who will say, okay, well, I got to pay the bill, but you're not going to cancel the trip. You know what I'm saying? So it's like one of those things where you like, no, I'm still going to go on my trip, and I know the resources are going to come back, for me. And so you're the type of person who will just be like, okay, let's pay it. And then you'll start figuring out how or you'll start creating space for that other money to re-manifest, okay? For it to come back to you. All right. I'm getting the feeling that you are one of those people who do manifest fairly easily when you are in the proper vibration. I guess that's in general, but I think that you focus on keeping a positive mindset in the midst of struggle, because you know how well that works, how easily you manifest things. So it's almost like yeah. See, look at the rays that are around the hand here. It's almost like that you have to handle each thing that comes towards you carefully, because you know that what's next is what you manifested, or however you treat this is what's going to manifest next. It dictates what's going to manifest next. There you go. All right, I just heard you can pull the sun out of the sky. Not sure what that's supposed to mean for you, but I just heard you can pull the sun out of the sky. Okay, so that's a beautiful thing. I can only feel it as a positive thing. All right, so let's see which runes you have here. Isis, Isis, Isis. because it's ice. It literally sounds, okay, it's ice. Okay, so this rune does translate to ice. It represents like stillness, stasis, self-control, identity, and focus. Definitely speaks to what we're talking about here. And then we have, oh, so willow, sun, okay, it translates to sun, yes. Success, solace, guidance, seat of the soul, mastery, wholeness, and your goals. Yeah, so this feels like even when, like, even when stagnation presents itself, you have the ability to, like I said, whatever the sun, if the sun represents optimism, if it represents confidence and courage, then you have the ability to pull that out of a ice storm. If everything is frozen and not moving, and you feeling left out in the cold, you have the ability to pull down from the sun whatever you need. Okay, you know what I'm saying? I hope that makes sense what I'm trying to say, because it makes sense to me. So just hope that I'm putting it out there for you guys. Okay, but this speaks volumes about your ability to sit still for a little while, analyze, to sit with each emotion, to sit to analyze your actions, to go over, to review yourself, to make sure that you're not repeating things. And then also to make sure that you're not being overly influenced by your situation or people around you or happenings of the past. Okay, so that's a beautiful energy. Let's see what advice group 1 has from the ancestors. We have Marjorie Lee Brown, represented for the in the realm of mathematics. Okay, it says became the third African American woman to earn a PhD in mathematics. 2 years after graduating, Brown was selected to be chair of the mathematics department at North Carolina College, a position she held until 1970. She received an IBM $60,000 grant in 1960, which was the first for a minority college. Through the grant, Brown was able to set up a digital computer center. Okay. Brown was given the first W.W. Rankin Memorial Award for Excellence in Mathematics Education for the North Carolina Council of Teachers of Mathematics in 1975. During her career, Brown became the first African-American woman to serve as a member of the Advisory Council to the National Science Foundation. Okay, so what I'm picking up here is a lot of firsts, okay? So it does feel like, with the Ace of Pentacles, the Fool card, the Page of Wands, I do feel like, even though you take on this position of student, you take it on knowing that you will be a leader, or that you are a leader, that people are looking to you, that people do see you as someone who is a trendsetter, a trailblazer, okay? You're a forerunner in your realm, okay? Whatever it is that you are studying or whatever it is that you come up against, you realize that you are a leader of a wave, okay? We don't ride the wave, we create them, okay? So that's how we made it to Beyonce's playlist. Okay, anyway, Toby Nigwe and Fat. So basically, this is one of those things where we're saying that, you realize that whatever you do, whether you feel like it's a failure or a success, it creates a wave, and people are gonna ride that wave, okay? But you're gonna break through certain boundaries. You're gonna break through fears. You're gonna break through ceilings, okay? Those ice. You're gonna break through ice ceilings, okay? Marjorie Lee Brown says that you're gonna be the first to do a lot of things in your family, in your community. You're gonna create a lot of things, and she's just encouraging you to maintain this sense of knowing, to maintain this sense of even if you try to humble yourself, okay? So that's what she's saying to you. You try to be overly humble, okay? And she's saying that it's not a bad thing, but she needs you to step out of the humility element sometimes so that you can really reach as far as you need to reach. Because sometimes when you're overly humble, you won't take that extra step that needs to be taken, because you will say, well, maybe I should wait. I don't want to be overconfident or anything like that. And Marjorie says, whatever. Look how serious her face is. She's like, whatever. Don't matter. I don't want people to think that I'm jumping the gun, or I don't want to skip the process. That's what I'm hearing. Some people are set up in a way, like in school. If you're making certain grades, really good grades, and they skip you up a grade, wouldn't it be ignorant to be overly humble and say, oh, well, no, I'll just stay where I am because I don't want anybody to think that I think I'm better than them, or I don't want anybody to think that I got special treatment, or those types of things. If someone offers you something, if God gives you something, this is a message for you. If God gives you something It's to place you in a position, and it doesn't matter what anybody thinks about that position you end up in. Doesn't matter what anybody thinks about the position you end up in, because God gave it to you so that you could get into that position. Okay. So next we have Meredith Gordeen, science and engineering. Engineer and physicist. During college, went on to the Olympics in 1952 and won the silver medal for long jump. Professionally, Meredith worked his way up from an employee to becoming the head of two companies, working in electro gas dynamics and developing commercial uses for the technology. In 1964, he founded Gordeen Systems, a research laboratory, and in 1973, he founded Energy Innovation, which produced direct energy conversion devices. Throughout his career, he received 30 patents for inventions such as converting natural gas to electricity and creating circuit breakers. His most well-known intervention was the Incinerad system, which helped clean the air of a smoky building or even fog on an airport runway. Okay, so Meredith is coming through to highlight your gift of transmutation. Okay, so this last point is actually standing out. Helped clean the air of a smoky building or even fog on an airport runway. Okay, so for me, there's some tools, some skills, abilities. I'm talking about actual like things that you need to learn how to do. This is advice, or that you need to employ more often because you probably already know how to do it. Energy healing techniques, chakra balancing, even air cleansing. So if you need to get more plants in the house because you know that you don't have the best quality air, all of these things are definitely crucial to your well-being and to the health of your brain. You know, your brain needs to be able to take in good oxygen and everything like that. So there's something here about making sure that you use what's already available to you to create the most yeah, the most supportive environment around you energetically. Okay. I'm also feeling to use your energy wisely. He's talking a lot about energy here. So use your energy wisely. How do you when you get up in the morning? What's your routine? Are you burning out first thing because you're giving everything else your attention and your energy? So this is something that he's speaking about as well. He is talking about how to turn inspiration into motivation and motivation into action. Like he's talking about this process or how you get from inspiration to taking that action. Okay, so he's talking to you a lot about really giving that some attention if you feel like you haven't been doing so great in those ways. And I'm hearing out the mud, out the mud. The Fool card is from the beginning, from the beginning, or with little to start. You know what I'm saying? The Fool literally has his little knapsack. That's it, and his dog. Okay, so you have those things, those qualities that inherently you have, and you have whatever loyal companion or not. That loyal companion could be just your spirit guides, your intuition, your ability to tune in and listen to direction. But in that knapsack, you have what? Some people think that he has the suits, the pentacles, the pentacle, the wand, the sword, and the cup. Some people believe that that's what's in his knapsack. And so that's all he has, because in the next step, he's the magician, and he's on his table. He has all his elements there, and now he's about to alchemize. He's about to create something, right? In that moment, from when he gets to somewhere, he gets his table, and he opens his knapsack. They say that those are the items he has, and he's getting ready to do something with it, okay? So Meredith Gordeen is talking about kind of like making something out of nothing, okay? Using the little bit that you have, even if it's literally a spark of inspiration, that can become it can become the head. You can become the head of two companies working in electro gas dynamics, okay? Creating commercial uses for something. I'm also hearing very specifically for some of you, you may be in some type of untapped market. Okay, you may have connection to some type of untapped market, and Meredith and Marjorie are both coming through to say, maintain your sense of self. Know that you are supported. We want you to be encouraged. We want you to be motivated to get out there and really break through these barriers that you see them, and sometimes they kind of prevent you from moving in a way that you can move. You see them and you kind of get cold feet. You kind of freeze up. And so they're saying, go ahead, Push through the freeze, okay? Because you got this. All right, so let me see what else they want to add just for this message here. We have the color green, so we're talking heart space, health, harmony, generous, safety, prosperity, luck, vitality, judgmental, envy, materialism, and experience. So I feel like there's something here where you, at the heart of you, really feel like you always putting things, I just saw it's not the right time. You're always saying that maybe I need to wait, maybe I need more education, maybe I need this. And the truth of the matter is they want you to change that mentality, okay? They want you to step out of that because you are a natural born, kind of like, oh, wow. You're a natural born leader. This says pharaohs. And if they got us up with some pharaohs, okay, channel life down low. Okay, anyway, pharaohs. So that means you're a natural born leader. We talked about that, being the first, being the person who can set things into place. I'm just hearing too, a lawmaker. So you could be in that realm, but this is a lawmaker, a change agent, okay? So an advocate for something. This is all about you. And because green came out, that's the heart chakra. So I could see advocacy being a thing. With help, just know that your ancestors and spirit guides are always here, and they're going to always line people up, you know, who are supposed to be, who they want to support you. Promotion showing up, okay? And I see the palms card. Remember we were talking about energy healing and stuff. I do feel like they are talking about, and also palmistry is coming up as well. So I do feel like they're talking about natural gifts of energy healing. Okay, so you may need to tap into that if you haven't already, or put it to use, because the earlier message was that you have everything, you know it, but you don't put them to use. Okay. All right. Yeah. Trading You can't make it up. Training and education is right here. It's saying you know it. You just need to put it to use. You could have went to school for something and you haven't been using that degree. You could have just basically, like, for instance, I'm a Reiki master. So it's like you could have went and got training to the umpteenth extent, and then you still don't use the systems to create balance and wellness in your own life, okay? I was guilty of that before. And then let go. Yeah, so the let go and the Fool card is speaking volumes, telling you that, you know, Yah speaks and I move. When spirit is speaking to you, just go ahead and move. I feel like after some time of doing that, and not necessarily, maybe you were attached to how some of the outcomes would go, you will always be willing to leap, but then you would get attached to how it was supposed to look in the end. So I do feel like there could have been some sense of disappointment in the past about not getting out of a situation which you thought might come from it. Crystalline consciousness showing up in New Earth. Okay, crystalline consciousness, New Earth showing up. So I do feel that, you know, you are having a different understanding about what it means to be the Fool. Okay, to be the Fool. You know, initially you may have had this idea like, oh yeah, I'm gonna take this leap and I'm gonna fall into $1 million. Now you're realizing that I'm gonna take this leap, and the knowledge that I gain might make me $1 million if I employ it properly. So something about the way that you shifted things around in your mind is going to be very beneficial for you here in the future. Yeah, I do feel like there is definitely some ancestral connection here. We got Olokun, we got astral plane, and we have the sun. Okay, remember I talked about drawing things down from the sun. You might benefit from some amulets or something that use bronze, copper, and gold as well, I guess. But we talked about drawing down energy from the sun, and those are elements that can help you do that. All right. Those are elements that can help you. So let's move on to group 2. Okay. If you picked the purple pen, then this is for you. 6 cards. Okay. All right, so your strengths. We have the 5 of Wands, the Chariot, the Devil, the 10 of Pentacles, the Queen of Pentacles, and the 8 of Pentacles. Ooh, wow, okay. For you, you have your strength. Oh man, it's kind of similar to the first, but not really, because that was more making something out of nothing. For you, for this one, you draw energy. It's almost like, I don't know want to say it wrong, but it's almost like, okay, I'm gonna just say it. It's almost like conflict feeds feeds you, drives you. Like you're a problem solver. So like if there's no problem, then you almost really don't know what to do, right? Like this situation seems like you feel like as if this is almost like your purpose, your calling. This is the work you feel like you're supposed to be down here doing, solving problems, figuring how to multiply, amplify what's here in the material realm. Okay. So this is giving me some kind of, it's almost like some people view it as a toxic trait, but it's not. It's actually it's kind of high vibrational. It's almost like what is it? What's the word? I'm thinking about the personality typing thing, human design. There is a type in there that thrives when there's chaotic energy. They thrive when there's a lot of turbulence in the air. Okay, and I don't know which one it is, so I won't even lie to y'all. But it's like you have generators who create energy, but this person, you're someone who gets in the thick of something. And this is when you feel most motivated. This is when you feel like oh, okay, now I got a job to do. It's almost like a superhero. You know what I'm saying? It's like a superhero. What do superheroes be doing when there ain't no chaos and calamity in the world? Okay? This is interesting. This is definitely interesting. You have this innate ability. The last group drew from the sun. You have some crazy ability to move between elements of dark and light, good and bad, and continue to kind of like it's almost like this like, oh, what am I seeing? I'm seeing like two ropes. One is good, one is bad, right? And they're both taking you forward. Okay, they both take you forward. I don't know what that means, but that's what I'm hearing. Um, you're a craftsman. Again, it's like if there's no demand for something, then you move on. So you have the ability to seek out the need for something. Okay, you have that's one of your strengths, to seek out needs. You could be someone like you could be like in human resources. You could be in like social work. You could be a healer in the sense where you're able to tap into someone's darkness or lower vibrations in order to see what's needed to move forward. Okay. I'm also picking up too, this could be budgeting. You have a strength with money and finances, with managing resources in general. Okay. I also feel too that you have matriarchal energy. Because of whatever work that you've done on yourself, you have this energy of being able to lead a whole family, a tribe, a collective of people. Okay. You got the Queen of Pentacles and the Chariot kind of sitting together. So I feel as if this is one of those things where you do have that quality. To me right now, this pinnacle is a globe. Okay, Mother Earth energy is what I'm getting. You know what's gonna take to progress Mother Earth. Okay, so that's what I'm picking up too. You have a very progressive mind, a progressive. This is not the same as being a forerunner, because when you think about it, progressive doesn't necessarily mean that we are doing something different or new. We're employing what we have almost. You know what I'm saying? It's the same as one, I guess. I'm trying not to make it that way, I guess. But they're telling you a message loud and clear here. We do. The Chariot card is Cancer energy, so that is that mothering element again. Also picking up, one of your strengths is that you know when to let something go when the efforts are not providing results. Okay, so I'm hearing process management. It's like, do we need step 3, 4, and 5 when they don't really make a huge difference? And then you can, hey, this checklist can be 6 steps. It don't have to be 12 steps type of vibe. That's what I'm picking up on. You have the tendency to show people that certain processes aren't necessary. We talked about skipping ahead in the group before, but this isn't necessarily skipping ahead. It's just being properly managing time, energy, resources. Okay. With the Devil and the Eight of Pentacles kind of hanging out together, it feels like other people who get stuck in routines, who get stuck in processes can come to you, and you can teach them how to break out of those cycles and those processes. Like teaching them what marriage counseling. Okay, well, I told her da 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 da. It's like, well, how did you tell her? Okay, you've tried to yell it, you've tried to ignore it, you've tried to do this. So you're someone who helps somebody see when something is not useful anymore. It's kind of how I'm feeling. You can see when something is not useful anymore. 5 of Pentacles, 5 of Wands, 10 of Pentacles. It doesn't give me peacemaker energy, but it does give me like mediator energy. So within your family, within your work center, within your friend groups, you might be a person who can quickly cut out a lot of, like, if someone's gossiping, you can say, okay, well, is this necessary? Is this going to help anything? Is it going to heal anything? No? Okay, cool. Well, you need to cut it out. So that's kind of the vibe I'm picking up. You have a strength to really stand up and help people see good or bad. Like, hey, is this helpful? No? Do you think it's hurting us? Yes? Okay. Well, what are we going to do with that? So you have a strength to really be a mediator, the in-between person, the middleman even. I'll say it like that. You probably are a middle person. Help people get through struggle, help people get through whatever repeating cycles they're in, because that's just the thing that keeps speaking over and over. If a person is in a repeated cycle and they are blind to it, you will clearly see it. You will let them know when they're being driven by some lower vibration or some first dimension. So root chakra is coming up to me. So you're someone who tells somebody when something is inherited or something that's a process maybe that they learned from parents and things like that that's not helpful anymore. I don't know what word I want to use for that, but it sounds like there's some type of counseling element to it, coach type of element to it. All right, so we have, let's go to the runes first. We have seed, ingwas, and euros or aurochs, which translates to ox. We have strength of will, survival, life force, independence, and self-healing. Okay, yeah. All right, fertilization, beginning of something, actualization of potential, genesis, evolution, and energetic burst. Okay, I do feel too with this 5 of Wands that is speaking about energies within you that don't play well together or do play well together. Because remember, we talked about when there's pressure, when there's maybe like a little bit of tension, you kind of work better under those circumstances. It's what drives you forward, and you may create this kind of stuff in your life on purpose, and this may give you a less than pleasant reputation. I get that feeling. It gives you a less than pleasant reputation because you may create certain scenarios in your life, but you know what you're doing. Your soul knows what you're doing. This is about evolution, okay? This is about your evolution. I'm also feeling like too, we do have a lot of earth energy, and I'm picking up a lot of root chakra vibes here. So it is talking about that whole survival, okay? Things that people have been doing for forever, just to get by, even whether this is an internal process or whether this is some system, a banking system or something like that. Things that people have relied upon and they've been doing forever and ever. You break through. You decide that that's probably not the best way. And so whether you're coaching them or helping them see it or just kind of moving in that energy yourself, it does feel like whatever you do ends up changing a whole collective. Okay, it influences a whole collective of people. Your work, your individual work does. So remember we saw New Earth, and I do feel like that was in the last group, but it does feel like there's a vibe here about that. Ushering people into new paradigms, into new ways of thinking, okay? Because we do have seed, strength of will, life force, okay? All right, so let's see what these two ancestors have to say here. We have Alara of Nubia and Olmec Civilization, the Mesoamericans. Let's start with Alara. First known king of Kush, ruling an ancient kingdom in Nubia, which was located below Egypt in the area of Sudan. As the founder of the Napatan royal dynasty, Alara governed the empire with his wife and half-sister, Kasakwa. Little is known about Alara's rule, but he was able to unify much of Nubia during his reign and strengthen his new kingdom. I'm saying matriarchal energies coming to set a new tone, pretty much. When Alara died, his brother took his place and continued to grow the empire. Alara's ancient kingdom would flourish for centuries because of his strong leadership and strategic planning. Strong leadership and strategic planning, yes. Process planning, process management. I'm telling you, this is something that is really good. You're constantly working to create a system in your own life, in your family, in your work center that gives more than it takes, that yields the best results. And it's not just for you. Like I said, it affects a full collective. And Alara of Nubia just confirmed that for us. And for some reason, you've had to go through an ego battle. Alara is talking to me about this. You had to go through an ego battle that stagnated you. You know, it was about being seen as the change agent, being seen as the person with the answer, being seen as the leader. Okay, so there was something you had to go through to heal that element. Because what happened, Alara passed away, and his work was continued by his brother. So this is not a solitary job. You're just doing it right now, right? So there is something there about that message for you. If you still feel like you're in that ego battle about being the king, being the queen, being the ruler, being the one that did it, then Alara's coming through to say, you know, you can let that fall away. Your work is going to be recognized. Don't worry about it. And it'll be recognized more so by the results, by the longevity, by your kingdom. Okay, it's not going to be about you, the king, but about the kingdom, what's created from your leadership. Okay, so thank you, Alara, for that message. The Olmec Civilization, the Mesoamericans. The Olmecs were thought to be the first great civilization of the Americas, thriving on the coast of Mexico and Central America for hundreds of years. Scientists have identified several Olmec carvings and know that the group were religious and probably practiced human sacrifice to please their gods. Okay. The Olmecs were talented sculptors and artists and created many amazing pieces of art, the most famous being massive colossal heads. They're also skilled architects, engineers, and traders who created pyramids and agricultural systems. The Aztecs and Mayas borrowed from the Olmec way of life, believed to be of African ancestry by African scholars, and are heralded as one of the foundation of culture of the Americas in the book by Ivan van Sertima entitled They Came Before Columbus. Yeah, okay. All right, so the Olmec civilization is talking to us about being someone who doesn't need. I was just talking about this last night, in about faith systems, religion, and things like that, how we spend so much time going back and forth about who's right, who's wrong, my God is greater, these types of things, right? And what I'm getting from the Olmec civilization first is that you're the type of person who's like, we don't need that. What is that doing for us? What has that ever done for us as a people? Okay, so this is just an example, but in the midst of something like that, you would be the person to say, all the Bible says is you need a faith. You need faith. All this text also says faith. This one says faith, 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 and you're the one who would say, look at that. The core of it all is for us to have faith. And then you might be able to get everybody to calm down a little bit and be like, yeah. We know that that's not a real thing, but like people really don't calm down at those kinds of arguments because they really want to fight it to the end. But in your mind, that's where you come from, and you inject that type of energy, collective energy, not separatism energy. Okay. What else? Olmec's. We said the foundation of culture. I do feel like the Olmec civilization is talking about what you are creating. Remember, I said it won't necessarily be you that's highlighted. It'll be what you created, and of course, that is of you. So take that honor when it comes. You know what I'm saying? This speaks of working to build legacy. Okay. Especially if you feel like you're the matriarch or patriarch of a family. I mean, honestly, matriarchal energy is rising again, so this makes sense. But it doesn't mean that patriarchal energy is gonna completely die. Hopefully, it'll fall into alignment, and everybody will have some good balance. Okay, but we'll see how that plays out. So what you are creating, the culture that you are cultivating right now, okay, is going to be highlighted in the future. Okay. So Olmec civilization talks about focusing on your work, first focusing on your craft, okay? Because that is what's going to be known, okay? You don't have to worry about the image. You don't have to worry about what people think of you. I'm also hearing aesthetics. You don't have to be concerned with aesthetics and things like that. Just create true to you, okay? Create true to you, because that's another ego trap they're saying. Perfectionism or need for validation. These people didn't need no validation. They didn't need the validation. As a matter of fact, Lara was probably dead before he got to see the real fruits of his labor. Okay. He said he was. He said he was dead before he got to see what happened in its entirety. To see the full effect of what he was doing. I'm also hearing too here. You are advised to work alone when you feel like your vision is being compromised. Okay, that's coming from these ancestors as well. If you feel like the vision that God has given you is being compromised, then you must step aside so that you can maintain the integrity of that vision. Appearance. I said aesthetics don't matter. I said that. So they're talking about appearance. Appearance could be something that you give a little to the road to success. Okay. I'm also picking up on too. Remember, we talked about, like I said, not necessarily knowing what's going to come, but knowing that you've been given the vision. Okay. Time to go. Some of you are being called to go. Okay. So I'm not sure what it is that you're not seeing in the situation, what you're waiting to see. Maybe you're waiting for some type of sign, synchronicity, some type of thing. But the ancestors are telling you that it's time for you now to start building this thing, Aquarius. All right. So this is speaking to Aquarian age, and you must be seated with some type of, okay. Yeah. Ready or not. Look, ready or not. So you're seated with something here, and they want you to nurture it now. And now is the time. I can't even get the words together. Ready or not. We have celebrity down here too. So yeah, we did talk about being known. See, there's something here too. Okay. I'm hearing something is not as good as it's not as good, but something is not what it seems, or there's an answer right under your nose and you haven't yet to see it, to realize it yet. We got mediumship here. Yeah. So for some of you, okay, this is a different message, but for somebody in this group, in group 2, you do have certain gifts, but you are too stuck in the physical. So like I said, based on appearance or reputation or something like that, you're too kind of trapped in that place. So these ancestors are coming to say it's time to get out of there. Gateways to the realm of spirit. Yeah, with mediumship. So yeah, there's a spiritual gift here that is trying to actualize, but there's something about where you are materially. You may need to You may need to give some focus to your energy body, you know, whether that's changing up some food, drink, getting some movement in there, yoga, exercise, whatever the case may be, because I even hear practicing of your craft. So you might even need to get into that a little bit more. So one more of these. Let's see what else we get. Law of divine oneness. How can I show more compassion and acceptance to those I don't understand? This is the worry about that you have, is about being understood or misunderstood. How people will view you. How if people are going to validate your experience, your thoughts, your beliefs, and you know, spirit and the ancestors are really saying that, you know, it's time to move past that. Okay, you know, it's a devil energy. It's working against you. All right. That is that. Let's move on to group 3. Let's see. Group 3. All right, see what we have here. We have the 6 of Wands, the 3 of Wands, the Knight of Wands, the 6 of Swords, the Page of Swords, and the Page of Pentacles. Okay. Well, firstly, one of your strengths is perception. Perception is, you have very keen perception of situations. You can see things that other people can't see, okay? You can see success where other people see failure even, okay? I also feel like you have a magnetism. You move in authority. You move with the knowledge that something is always going to work out for you, and it always attracts exactly what you need, okay? So magnetism is another strength. I'm also just hearing again that you're always willing to be the student. You're always willing to admit when you don't know something, okay? That's a strength. Because when you can surrender to learning, then what does it say? The wise man knows that he knows nothing at all, or something like that. We have the 2 sixes here, the 6 of Swords and the 6 of Wands. I do feel like you have a certain stealth, okay? I'm hearing invisibility cloak. You know when to keep your cards close to you. You have very keen discernment, okay, about who to share information with, who to trust, okay? So it's very keen, and sometimes you doubt it maybe. I'm also hearing that you, again, like the other piles, you're a risk taker, okay? With the Page of Swords and the 3 of Wands, you're very curious, okay? You're curious. I'm seeing that scene of Lion King when he asked what was beyond, what's over there in that shadowy place. And so that's the kind of vibe that you give off. You see beyond what you are accustomed to, okay? No matter what situation you're in, like you see beyond it. What can come of it. So there's one of your strengths is just like one keen perception, and then the other is like optimism, okay? I'm also picking up a very independent energy as well. Yeah, the Knight of Wands is fully armored and in full movement, okay? In full movement. And I feel like this is one of those things that you know when to keep quiet. I mean, quite frankly, you know when people are trying to clock your movements. You know when someone is just trying to get close to you for, when people just want to gain from your work, from your success. I'm also hearing that you know how to connect with people. You know how to connect with people and honor people for their work without coming off as a leech. Okay, you can identify leeches, and you also know how to assure people, and this is not a manipulation, because I get that sometimes people try to point it out as a manipulation, but it's not. This is a gift, because if you I'm not gonna say like a regular person, but if you're an everyday worker and you see a celebrity, and that celebrity, you have the opportunity to interact with that celebrity, you're gonna choose to interact with them in a way that doesn't, you know, it's not about their fame or their status. It's about whatever is being presented in that moment. Okay, so if they're doing a book reading at the library, you know, for kids, you're not gonna be like, oh my god, I love your album, da 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 da. You're going to honor them for who they are and what they've accomplished, but you're also going to allow them to do what they're doing. Okay, so there's something here about that, and it's a very honorable. That's a very honorable trait. Okay, so you can bypass starstruck energy, which is good because it draws attention to you for the right reason. So, you know, if you're a video girl, I mean, not a video girl, but if you're the girl at the concert flashing her boobs, you know, that a person might go to that just because of whatever is offering. But if you're the other person who's there and you're honoring their craft, you're singing every song. This is making me think of when I went to go see Nelly. Okay, anyway, you're honoring their craft and you're really into their work. That might draw their attention to you. You know, it draws their attention to you. It's not a competition between the two people because, hey, the girl who's flashing her boobs probably gonna get some attention too. It's more about the quality of the attention and about what it is that comes from it. That person might just get a one night stand with a Knight of Wands, right? That person might get a one night stand, and you might potentially get the Six of Wands, which is more like they might want to highlight you or assist you in your craft, or, you know, offer you some type of thing, because we do have the the Page of Pentacles here with the Six of Wands, and I feel like that speaks to somebody wanting to offer you the opportunity to highlight your own gifts, your talents, your skills and abilities. Okay, because of modesty, modesty, I guess. I don't know what the right word is, but you know, you treat people like people, not like celebrity. Okay, and I think this is also in turn, people feel like you would do well in the spotlight because of how you treat people who are in the spotlight, the way that you interact with them. Okay. Yeah, you have good perception, you have good discernment about how to interact with people at different levels of society, and this bids you well. You know, it bids you well. I also feel with the Six of Swords, there's a certain level of like, I'm gonna say humility. There's a certain level of humility that it takes to get from one place to another without spoiling plans, without allowing, you know, without causing people to start to come up against what you're doing. There's a certain, you know, it takes some humility. Okay, sometimes we're excited. I'll say self-restraint too, because sometimes we're super excited about what's to come for us or what we have or what's going on, that we'll publicize it before it needs to be publicized. And there's nothing wrong about it being publicized. It's just what it causes from the outside influences and things like that. You know, I heard tampering, so people might tamper with what you have going on because, you know, you were so eager to share it. See, there's a stark difference between the Six of Wands and the Six of Swords. Both of them are progressive and moving forward, but one knows that they're going forward, but they have the sense to kind of like take a more private route than and just be out in the public eye right now. Okay, keen discernment. I'm also hearing invisibility cloak. That's what I heard earlier too. Yeah, you know how to cloak yourself. You know how to blend in or hide yourself when you need to be hidden. That's a superpower. Um, when we're talking about knowing how to treat people or how to treat circumstances and situations, I just heard, you know, how to find the proper place to plant your seeds. You know, a farmer doesn't just go around throwing seeds everywhere. They know that over here in this dirt, this grows better, and over here in the sandy, we can grow this, this, and this, and over here where we got a lot of weeds and stuff that grow, we can still grow this, this, or this. So there's something about being a great farmer, a great sower of your seed. Okay. Something about stewardship popping up, being a good steward, okay? All right, so, excuse me. I'm hearing that people view you as someone who does really well with what they have, and they acknowledge that you don't have a lot. And this may also, magnetize people towards you because they feel like if they're in a better position, if they invest in you, then you will also be a good steward of that as well. Let's see what the runes say. Daggers, days, hope, happiness, enlightenment, paradox, non-duality, and invisibility. I said invisibility. Come on. Yes, you have the ability to cloak yourself or cloak your endeavors, okay? I also feel just in general, when people are talking to you and you pick up on the fact that they're trying to gain information from you or get in close to you, you can go invisible. You're still interacting with the person, but you almost without thinking about it too, you almost just put up kind of like a sensor so that certain things don't leak out. And we have Jera, which translates to a year, harvest, reward, patience, cycles, time, orbits, and right effort. And we talked about right effort. That's, again, where do I plant my seeds? What does it need to grow? How much? Look, again, we already talked about it, so I'm not even gonna go back into it. But I think it's funny that we have days and year together. So I do feel like, oh, dang, it's another Toby lyric. He said, "I can do in days what may take them years." Okay, so I do feel like that's a beautiful thing as well. That's a gift that you have. It's not a brag. You can accomplish something because you don't need the validation. And so you can get it done because you're not overly critical of your own process because of how people might take it. You're not in need of validation, okay? So, you're able to accomplish a lot more, produce a lot more because it's not about anybody else. It's about what you're doing, okay? It's about your craft, okay? It's about the passion that you have for what you're doing, okay? So days and year. I do feel like too, whoever you are, you can almost predict the future. We talked about perception. You can almost predict the future. You can see what can come of a situation from the very beginning of it. When somebody says hi to you, you can see their intention almost. Okay. But ironically, we got days and year together, and I don't feel like that's by chance. I also feel like you know how to speed things up, or you know how to add energy to something. Like maybe you're like a generator. When it comes to human design, manifesting generator, you know how to bring energy to something once it makes it to you. Like you generating already, and then once the offer comes to you, it can speedily manifest because you've already been generating the energy in private. Let me say that again because that's for somebody. You generate the energy when you're alone and with yourself. You have the energy. You create whatever that means, whether it's just internally or you're creating the content. You're whatever you're doing to generate the energy, and then when the opportunity comes, then it's able to manifest whatever this thing is, maybe to manifest into reality because you've already been generating the energy. All right, so let's see what what ancestors want to speak. Chike Obi and Gwen Jameer. Okay. All right. Chike Obi is a mathematician, professor, Nigerian politician, first Nigerian to receive a PhD in mathematics, considered a pioneer of mathematics and engineering in Nigeria because of his work in mathematical research. Excuse me. This talks about research. Remember, research is something that you do in private before like you may research something for 10, 15 years before you have a report that's ready to be publicized, or a thesis that's ready to be publicized. And so that's also what this is talking about. Keeping calm, keeping to the study, keeping to what you're doing, privately, quietly, whatever the case may be. So my throat chakra is doing the most right now, and and keep it under wraps until it's time to bring it forward. That way, it doesn't get tainted. It doesn't get the ideas or the concepts are not stolen, quote unquote. Um, they're not stolen, or other people have the ability to kind of like to run away with them. All right. So while working as a politician, he helped establish the political party named the Dynamic Party of Nigeria. As a professor, he established the Nana Institute for Scientific Studies, where he spent time working on mathematical formulas. Okay, think about that. Mathematical formulas, that's not something you work in a whole like group of like 60 people. That's something that takes like just you constantly looking at something. You may have a small team, but it's almost like you are looking at each element, each variable of that equation, and it's not something that is publicized every step of the way. During his research at the Nana Institute for Scientific Studies, he compiled a report where he showed his proof of Fermat's last theorem, one of the few mathematicians to be able to do so. Okay, look, so yeah. So whatever this is, whatever you are formulating, whatever you are creating, this is talking about the ability to maintain peace of mind, maintain privacy, to protect your intellectual property, things of that nature, okay? It's Fermat's last theorem. I have no idea what that is, but I've never been a big math person, so um, this does speak of, like I said, research. So maybe you are researching. We do have the Six of Swords and the Six of Swords and the Page of Swords, which would mean that you are you are seeking further wisdom and guidance on how to change something, or bring clarity to something that was once unclear. Okay, that's interesting. And Gwen Jameer, she is still here in the living flesh. Okay, founder and CEO of Naturalicious, and an international beauty company found in over 2,500 stores worldwide. Founder of Pitch Proof, where she trains business owners how to get funding for their businesses without going into debt or giving up equity. Yes. First African American woman in history to hold a patent for natural hair care product, the Moroccan Rasoul 5-in-1 clay treatment. Her popular Hello Gorgeous hair care system does the work of 12 products in only 3 steps, taking you from wash to style in 80% less time. Why does it sound like a whole ad? Okay, Gwen. Named one of the 100 most influential African Americans in the U.S., only natural hair care line invited to participate in the VIP gift bags for President Obama's inaugural ball in 2012. Named one of the 25 most powerful women in business, graduated valedictorian from her high school, and summa cum laude from college and graduate school. Again, this does, when you're talking science and mathematics, it's not something that well, let me say it like this. It's something that takes a lot of study. Okay, you're moving with theories and ideals. With hair care, you're different. You're coming up with different formulations, and people, you're not sharing with people every step of the process. And I feel like that's the important message here. The validation is not going to come immediately, is what these ancestors or these guides are telling you. But you need to know that the focus has to be on the work. Okay, it's like a message from the last group too, kind of. I'm also hearing too, the actions that you take to solve personal problems becomes problem solvers for a group of people. Okay, solves a problem for a group of people. Embodiment. Okay, all right. So some of you, like, okay, almost like what I was just saying. Okay, hold on, wait now. Let's get back. Let me say it again. Your personal problems become solutions for the collective. Okay, so the solutions that you find to your personal problems are then able to be shared with the collective. Okay. When it comes to embodiment, I do feel like the ancestors are definitely gifting you with a lot of their support and resources, inner reserve, even their knowledge. So you could be getting some very detailed downloads, images in your dreams. Trust any like hunches you get to try different things. We have black, we have dance. Protection, power, elegance, sophistication, mystical, seduction, security, intimidation, dominance, depression, prestige, authority, strength, and formal. For whatever reason, I'm hearing that someone is going to be given some type of honor soon. Okay, it may be a job, but there's some type of honor or invitation to some type of event. It's almost like, because I just heard award show. So you could be invited to do something, to dance on a team. Like, okay, so the when I was in high school, I tried out for cheerleading, and my first year I didn't make it. I didn't make it in tryouts, but a cheerleader got pregnant, and so then I was called onto the team. Okay, and then I tried out every year throughout high school and stayed on the team. But for whatever reason, this is coming up as one of those situations. You may get an unexpected invitation to take on a role last minute, okay? And I think it's gonna really open a door for you, because you're gonna perform so well, not just on the stage, but you're gonna have determination to really learn whatever it is you need to learn, and you're gonna show up. And you're really gonna show up. Palms again. What else do we have here? And mentality. Yeah, we already went there, so I don't even gotta. Individually designed universe and cosmic communication. Okay, so we have 10th dimension here. Soul purpose blueprints. Okay, all right. Okay, so I do feel like you're embodying your soul's purpose at this point. This feels as if whatever this invitation to, it could be an invitation down here, but it could also be an invitation to spirit, to get to the ancestral plane. It could be an invitation to the ancestral plane to receive certain information. I'm also picking up too, because the 10th dimension is also path. Like it helps. The 10th dimension is what you would tap into in order to access kind of like past life. It's past life regression. This is where on the realm that's in. Okay, so you may be embodying some past life characteristics at this point. Yeah, we got dance here, and then the 10th dimension speaks about being a refined being, or having been refined. And for whatever reason, that makes sense, because I see like ballet dancers or something like that, which is interesting. Cosmic communication. What's the cosmic communication here? Something is about to change in your life for whatever reason. I feel like I'm saying that. Joaquin, unity resulting from being. It's not performative. It's not any of that. Whatever attention is getting ready to come to you is not because of something you did outwardly. It's because something that you've been doing in private. Outpouring of wisdom of God. Yeah, connecting to universal wisdom, cosmic wisdom, to God. You've been doing this in private, and it's about to show up in your material world. You've been doing the work, and now you're going to be highlighted for it. All right. That's all I got for you, group 3. Beautiful messages, beautiful messages. I am going to, real quick, do you guys a 3-card spread to leave with, and see what the collective needs from us. What does the collective need? Collective energy. Ace of Swords. Ten of Swords, Wheel of Fortune. Okay, all right. So yeah, so there is a change to any energy right now that you felt like you weren't getting what you were giving out. I also feel like too, your efforts you felt like your efforts were going unrewarded, okay? This is because you were doing this work in private. There was no outward validation for you. So you have humbled yourself and you have come to understanding about the value of the work that you've been doing independently, whether this is a craft or whether this is healing work. You are now in this understanding that you didn't need any validation from outward sources about this. Ace of Swords is here with the Ten of Swords. Going from Ace to 10 means that this cycle of preparing you mentally and intellectually for whatever you're about to get. Okay, on the Wheel of Fortune, you notice how all of the symbols, the animals are studying, they're in study. So this is talking about intellectual, spiritual preparation for your next chapter, okay? For your next chapter. The wheel is turning for you. I just heard the dust has settled, okay? So meaning that you're seeing clearly. Okay, seeing clearly. The revolution is televised. Okay. That lyric from Tune to Fire by Toby. Okay, anyway, I'll get it to y'all. I don't know. Okay, so there has been a dropping of illusion. It said, stuck down the rabbit hole, can't go home, found out everything you was ever taught, everything you thought real was wrong. So there's an acceptance, okay? There's an acceptance. You've literally had to let go of some things, thought processes, belief systems. I feel like too, this is a red pill, blue pill moment for the collective where you've chosen the red pill. What you left behind is willing ignorance. Willingful ignorance. Yeah, justice coming up. Yeah, so that means, yeah, you're in right alignment. You have balanced the scales when it comes to your consciousness. Okay, Three of Cups and the Queen of Cups here. So there could be certain people in your life, certain spiritual blockages. You've cut them out. Ace of Swords to the Ten of Swords let me know that you've journeyed that road. And whatever this was defeated. We got Judgment. Straight up. Three of Swords in reverse. Coming up out of any misunderstanding, misperceptions, because Three of Swords is much more than heartbreak. Okay, now these new understandings, these new perspectives, these new understandings can cause pain as you grieve what you leave behind. But I do feel like you're coming out of the grief period, okay? Coming out of the grief period. Also, I want somebody to know that the Seven of Cups there's a biblical reference to the Seven of Cups that I wrote down not too long ago. And I believe it was talking about 7 angels, and the 7 angels correlated with what I remembered on the 7 of Cups. Now, I'll have to go back and look at that, but if you feel so obliged and you think that that's something that you need to know about, then go check it out, right? But it does have the 7 of Cups in reverse with the sun card, meaning that illusions are falling away. You've come into a state of illumination, especially with the Wheel of Fortune here with it, and the Judgment card with Justice. I feel like there is ascension, graduation. I feel like there is a sense of entering a calling because you have now completed, like I said, the training, the mental training, the study program, the whatever. You're graduating, okay? Let me say it like that, because there's a lot of beautiful energy, all right? With the Ace of Swords, the Ten of Swords, side by side. You could have even finished this before it was expected, or you could have finished this in record time. And then you have the Wheel of Fortune, Justice, the Sun, and Judgment all here together. Your perception, I said, that like group 3, you're seeing things clearly. You may be seeing, maybe even downloading information at a rapid pace right now. So you need to make sure you have a notebook and pen around you, some recording device or something, so that you can access this information. Whatever blockages or disruptions, I want to say it like that, that were there have fallen. You know, they fallen apart. I keep going back to this Seven of Cups because it's something, though I am not fixated on riches. So it does, Toby's lyrics always, I always channel him. Okay. But anyway, whatever your mind was set up on when it came to your divine purpose and things like that, you may have been looking at this out of order, you know, like, oh, I need money to do this, but all, or saying, oh, it's my destiny to have riches. Yes, but it's also your destiny to fulfill your life's purpose, and that will bring forth maybe riches. Okay, so there is something here about the Seven of Cups in reverse. You've come to some type of understanding about the mentality that you were holding. Okay, not only that, it wasn't just personal, it means that you have literally gone through this process of mental and intellectual preparation and are ready for this graduation. Ready for this graduation. Okay. All right. Let's see. Ready for this graduation. Ready. Anything else? I was supposed to give y'all some of these cards with the piles, but it was doing a lot. Okay, so yeah, so that Seven of Cups was sabotage, conflicting actions, and unstable efforts because of the whatever delusions or illusions, any even spiritual warfare, even I'm picking up any of that. It's all now in reverse. So that could mean it could be reversed back on the folks that it was on. Business acumen. Okay, so yeah, this is talking about the mentality that was tied to fulfilling your life purpose. I'll share my situation. I was attempting to build a business, and I'm not saying that business won't still be a thing, but I was attempting to build a business through something I knew was going to be a purpose. That was my purpose, I mean. But I'm doing it backwards because I need to walk in the purpose and allow that to magnetize whatever opportunities out here in the world Spirit has for me. Okay, so that's an example for you guys. Sometimes the work that you're doing, sometimes the work that you're doing works against what God is trying to do. Okay, so sometimes you're just supposed to show up and do what you know you're supposed to be doing, and then let that magnetize the opportunities for you to further what you're doing. Okay. All right, so we have sabotage, conflicting actions, unstable effort, business acumen, and time. I also feel like you felt like there were time constraints. You were trying to rush and get things into place, but time, wheel of fortune. Time is divine timing, right? Was at play. Red light. That's why you kept feeling halted. Okay. I also feel like too. This is random and I don't even know where it fits in. But there was someone manipulating your time. There was someone wasting your time. And not just in, this could be in romantic relationships. They were trying to lower your vibration so that you would miss some type of opportunity. Okay. These people are being reprimanded though with get a switch and don't say anything. Okay. Yeah, whatever this is, there was maybe a silencing of something, silencing of you.